Jackson. I work for the culture department of Fort Mohave tribe. I've been here 26 years. I'm also I do the history and site tours. Take people out into the land and learn about the plants and animals, river. I'm also the tribal artist, and I have some art class whenever anybody wants to have a class. Way back in time when we were the only ones here in this area, it was hard but easy for us because it was only the only lifestyle we knew. We had it was hot here in the desert, but we had the Colorado River that kind of runs right through the middle of what is now our reservation, Fort Mohave Reservation. So we had water. We also had a lot of trees that grew along the river for shade. If it got too hot, we could just go into those trees along the river and cool off. But we also had long-distance runners that ran through the desert to communicate and trade with other tribes. Our runners were very healthy, and they could run like 100 miles a day. But they knew where all the water springs were in the mountains, and that's how we got through the desert running. As for food, we weren't really meat eaters. We ate mostly vegetables, and families and clans would get up and tell stories to all his kids and grandkids. It was sort of our television a long time ago when there wasn't no TVs or radio. We also played a lot of games. The kids are either running or participate in like wrestling and tug of war and what we call a Poland hoop games. The men would take them on hunting trips so the boys would know the art of, to hunt and find trails. And we all really believed in our health. And the boys would also do a lot of running. That's how we became long-distance runners through the desert to communicate and trade with other tribes. And the girls would go out with their mothers and pick fruits and vegetables. And at that time, they would all talk and share their thoughts, talk about lady stuff. They also made dresses and moccasins and everything they got from the barks of the trees and plants. We also, since we lived by the river, we also did a lot of swimming. All day sometimes. We knew what plants to pick for food. The poisonous ones, the non-poisonous. And they were all very healthy. Our elders didn't like us just walking and talking. We always had to walk at a fast pace. That's just how we grew up. If you walk like we do today, they would consider that lazy.
My fourth question would be, what did you guys wear as jewelry or cosmetics?
Jewelry?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of our women and sometimes did a lot of bead work, which they still do today. Matter of fact, we do it here in our cultural building to this day. And, to do a lot of ceramics, out of clay, making bowls and things that you eat out of, figures, animal figures, sculpt animal figures. We also had what the ladies wear nowadays for special occasions, ribbon dresses and shirts. You might have seen them wearing it if you looked at the computer and see the ladies dressing those long dresses with a lot of different color ribbons on them. They were used for special occasions. The plants, it would pound the plants, the roots and the bark especially. Keep pounding and pounding them until the plants and trees, the barks of the trees, where they would just pound and pound them until they became very thin. And sometimes the ladies and men would even chew it to make it soft, so it would be like soft material. And with some of the plants, they would shred them into thin lines like string and wind them together to make thread. And the tips of the plants, like the century plant and argan plant, they would get the sharp points, and that would be the needle, so they could sew all the...
My last question is, how was the journey? Was it emotional in any kind of way?
All the emotional part of it?
Yes.
Yeah, well, as I stated before, in what we called in the first times, it was pretty easy life because we had all the animals and plants here, and we had our river, and it just started getting harder as other people start moving into our lands from all different directions and traveling through and the oxen and all that and destroying our farms and just moving right on through, trying to find a better life for themselves in California or whatever. That's when times got hard. And of course, when the wagon trains and railroads and all that started coming through, it was like we were just in a way, and we had to be moved. So part of our tribe, the government gave us more land down like 70 miles south of where we are now in Fort Mohave, which became the Crit Reservation, Colorado River Indian Tribes Reservation. And half our tribe went there, but the other half stayed here because we refused to leave our homeland. And that was very, very hard because we were considered trespassers in our own land, and no one would give us jobs, and we were starving, and we couldn't farm no more. But after a while, when more people started moving in, they didn't like how we were being treated. So later on, the government gave us, made a reservation here with called the Fort Mohave Indian Reservation. And from then on, it was still hard for a while until the men got jobs working on the railroad, and the ladies would sell their beads and ceramics at the railroad tracks, and some of the men would work on the big steamboats that would also came up the river. We were guides and interpreters, and we started moving up, coming into the modern world at that time. And the kids were told them to go to school and get an education and come back and help, which they did, which leads us up to the day where we have all our businesses now, and the tribe's really involved in